Hey guys, I'm coming back with another video on the apple cider vinegar, and it's so quick and it's so easy, you'll be amazed. It's not hard. You know, I follow Lead Farmer 73. I think that's his channel, and he showed us how to make apple cider vinegar. He makes a good point. Everything that's healthy for us and natural is now so expensive when we can have the opportunity to grow these very things out of our backyards, but we just don't take the time that's necessary to do it because of convenience. Well, we want to be as self-sufficient as possible. Now, obviously you can't DIY everything yourself, but the things that we can, the things that we should, I want to be able to share those with you guys. So on that note, in order to make apple cider vinegar, you will need the apples of your choice. I'm using Simple Red Delicious. You're going to need your blender. You're going to need water, and you can use tap water, but I would suggest that you use some kind of filtered water. Now, we have our Berkey filtration system here, and that's what I'm going to be using, that water. And then you'll need some type of sweetener. And the reason for that is because you're going to want to feed the natural bacteria that are in the apple cider vinegar that helps create the mother. So I'm just going to use brown sugar because that's what I have, okay? You're also going to need a vessel in which to keep it in, and it needs to be one that's breathable, and I'll show you what that means once I start doing it. So first things first, I'm going to be using mason jars that are quart size. Lead Farmer used mason jars that were half gallon, and he used brown sugar as well, but he used a cup. I'm not going to put a cup of brown sugar in each one of my jars because I feel that would be too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a third cup of brown sugar in my jars, because I'm thinking, and I could be wrong because this is just quick kitchen math, I'm thinking 3-quart jars would give me at least half of a gallon. It might need to be 4 jars, but for right now I have 3, and that's what I'm going to use. So I have my third cup measuring cup, and I'm just going to get my brown sugar in the jar. And no, the brown sugar does not have to be packed, okay? Try and keep it as less messy as possible, okay? So boom, that's done. So far so good, nice and easy. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my apple in half and put them in here. Then I'll be putting in some water, and then I'll be blending it up. And yes, I'm putting stems and all in there, everything. These apples have already been washed. My Boo Bear went ahead and washed those for me. And depending on the type of blender you have, because you should know what you have and what its capabilities are. Just gonna put a little bit of water in there, and then we'll make it fit down in here and blend.
So here I'm just blending and adding more apples, blending and adding more apples. And I'm just gonna do that until my container gets full. I'm not really worried about making the liquid a consistency of like applesauce. I just really kind of need to get things broken down a little bit. So it's okay if you have bigger chunks in this vinegar base.
So what I'm gonna do now is start pouring into the jars. Now, I'm only gonna pour into the jars where it's like halfway, making a mess. And that's because you're gonna add more filtered water to your jars.
A lot of sugar in there.
So we put a third of a cup.
So when they make it in the supermarket, like make brands, it's sugar too, right?
They have to add sugar to get the bacteria.
Okay. So it's like a probiotic too?
It is probiotic, yes.
Really?
I'm gonna need another drop of it.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm excited about this. How are you gonna air tighten it?
You don't airtight it because air has to get in.
Oh, okay. This is what they used to do 100 years ago, right?
And they still do now.
I'm gonna say that again.
Okay. I'm gonna cut these into fourths, y'all.
I'll clean it later, okay? I'm gonna go on the bike for a minute.
Just to make it, yeah, to make it a little bit easier. Everything goes in here, you guys. Seeds, everything. Stem, core, everything. I'm gonna add a little bit more water because we don't know how much we're gonna actually need, right? Okay, and it looks like I might end up needing 2 more jars, but we'll see. We'll see.
You only fill them up halfway because they're going to blow up like yeast, right? They
Yep.
rise.
Yep.
You're going to need another jar.
Yeah, if you are right. At least one.
What are you covering them with, the tops?
The cheesecloth.
Oh, okay. We save the other. So we save these for the eggs.
Yes. All right. So now I can clean up my mess. Something that's wooden, especially once it starts actually making vinegar. Okay, you're really going to need for it to use something that's wooden to stir it with. But right now, I have a long spoon. This is what I have here at this place, so this is what I'm going to use. Okay, that's a good reason to keep the wooden chopsticks from the Chinese food restaurant laying around, because you never know when you're going to have a really good practical use for
I'm always
them.
throwing them out. Where are they?
It doesn't matter. You know it for, yeah. You never know when you're going to need them, especially when you're starting to try and have a traditional kitchen instead of one that's here full of normal conveniences. So once we stir everything up, I'm gonna cut pieces of cheesecloth and put over the top with some rubber bands. No, not with rubber bands. I'm gonna actually use the mason jar ring, and then we're gonna be done. You put them in a dark, warm place. So I'm gonna put them in the pantry because we have room in the pantry and it's dark there. And you need to check on these and stir these up. Okay. Now, once the mother starts growing, once you have the mother that's growing, you still have to stir, but not as much. But you don't want to disturb the mother. Like if it ends up producing like a SCOBY, you don't want to disturb that. And as we do some checkups on how my vinegar is going, then I will explain to you what a SCOBY is, what the mother is, and all of that. But right now, you just want to make sure that you're following the instructions that I am giving you and what I'm demonstrating for you, because that's what's important. Okay, you don't want green mold growing into your vinegar, because then you have to throw it out. But what you will see will be whitish and some brown. That is a healthy mother. Okay, all right. So cheesecloth, I picked this cheesecloth up at your local Target, but if you have an old cotton shirt, a cotton shirt that your husband doesn't wear anymore, or yourself you don't wear anymore, you can use that too. You can cut that up and use it, because you don't want any kind of pests to get into it, like fruit flies and gnats, because they're going to smell that, the smell of the vinegar, okay, as it's making. So that is the reason why we're going to use the ring, but we're not going to use the lid, because the lid would make this an anaerobic liquid, which will not produce vinegar because it's not getting the air and the oxygen that it needs. Here's the cheesecloth. It's very long and it's came to me double, right? Well, I'm gonna just cut it out along the squares, the rectangles that it has, because it just so happens to be perfect to fit over each mouth of the jars. And when I come back, you'll see the next step. Okay, so what you're gonna see me do now, I don't know if you can see what I've done so far. I'm gonna take this cheesecloth, place it over the top of the jar, take the ring, hold this down, and then screw it on my mason jar. Now it's tight as a drum, so nothing can get in it, and yet it's still safe, so that it can breathe. And this is only 2 layers of fabric. If you only want to do 1 layer of fabric, then please, by all means, go ahead and do that. So now that this is done, we will check on this daily. In 30 days, it will be apple cider vinegar. So you'll see me come around and do updates on these, okay? If you liked this particular video, please give us a thumbs up. Share this video. If you think that it's useful for anyone that's in your family, like really share the video, and have an absolutely wonderful evening. Bye.
Here's the finished product, and it tastes so delicious. This video was filmed about 3 months ago. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please consider sharing it, because sharing is caring in this community. Thank you guys, and I love you so much. Have an absolutely wonderful evening. Bye.